Greetings, Bapoites. Bapo. Believe ambitiously, persevere opportunities outstandingly. Tonight's topic is Hush Money Trial. Donald Trump, Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen. First of all, let me address the issue of the hush money payment. Miss Stormy Daniels, or I should say, Miss Clifford, she received $130,000 from Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former personal attorney, as allegedly as hush money payment. And she kept tight-lipped about such payment. After the election, she disclosed such payment, that such payment was made by Mr. Cohen as hush money to keep her silence about an encounter she had with Mr. Trump. So therefore, if she kept silence at that point and disclosed such information after the election, meaning that she trampled on her inner conscience, and then after the election, her conscience revisit or reappear like a thief in the night. And Miss Daniels developed moral code by stating that she received $130,000 payment as hush money, money for her to keep her silent, not to disclose her affair or alleged involvement with Donald J. Trump. There's a saying, hell has no fury like a woman scorn. But we have to be mindful that the law cannot be trampled on. So therefore, if the accused, Mr. Donald J. Trump, if there is reasonable doubt within the confines of the law, the accused must be given the benefit of the doubt. So indeed, if there was an agreement, there shouldn't be a situation in which there was an encounter between two adults, Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, and there is disclosure. It shouldn't be. What was the motivation for Ms. Daniels to disclose such information after she received such payment? What was her motivation? I'm not going to go into her job description because she trampled on her dignity. She received such payment and then she disclosed such affair, that alleged affair that she and Mr. Trump had. She disclosed such affair, and the question I would ask, the question is, what is the motivation for her to disclose such intimate and sensitive information to the public? Was it that she was approached by a rival, by someone that had a have a personal vendetta against Donald Trump? Was it that she was doing it because of money? She want money from Mr. Trump, or more money because she received $130,000 and it opened the room for extortion. It opened the room for more money, the need to receive more money from Mr. Trump. So the very fact that she received such money, it trampled on her credibility. It trampled on her credibility. Should Miss Stormy Daniels slept with Mr. Trump and then disclose the affair that she had sexual intercourse with Mr. Trump? What was the motivation for her action? What was the motivation for her action? Was it politically driven? What was the reason to disclose after willingly took $130,000 as hush money payment? Mr. Cohen confirmed that he was reimbursed $420,000, about there, $420,000, if I recall correctly, $420,000 about he received. So there is a bonus. He receives a bonus on what he allegedly paid to Miss Daniels. So we have to look in this situation. I call this another Simon Say trial. What was the motivation? The question is, did Mr. Trump had prior knowledge to such payment? Was it client to attorney, personal attorney, and Mr. Cohen took such action on his own initiative to prevent Miss Daniels or any individuals who may have information to trample on the reputation of Donald J. Trump? It could very well be that this is the case, that Mr. Cohen took such initiative on his own. Mr. Trump can easily deny that he had prior knowledge, and upon when he was made aware, that's the question. Because if he denied that he wasn't aware at any point, this can attract other argument. How can he not be aware at any point, but there must be some proof that Mr. Cowens must have some proof that he received the 420,000 payment. So Mr. Trump must admit that he was made aware of such payment at some point. But he cannot say that he was aware from the beginning. He was made aware, and as a result, he reimbursed Mr. Cowens. He didn't advise Mr. Cowens to take such action, but he did. So Mr. Trump must make it clear that he didn't advise Mr. Cowens to take such action, but he took it upon himself to ensure that there is no problem in the election, that there's anyone to come about to trample on his reputation. So he consider it, he makes such payment his own initiative. So Mr. Trump attorneys must be able to point out that Mr. Cowens, it was Mr. Cowens independently. Mr. Cowens independently, he acted independently. Mr. Trump didn't have any prior knowledge to such payment. Afterward, such payment was made. Mr. Trump learned of such payment and reimbursed Mr. Cowens. He's not denying that there was an affair, but he can easily deny that he had no prior knowledge to the such payment. Afterwards, he learned of such payment and he reimbursed Mr. Cowens. So we have to look at it within the confines of the law and understand that it is not as what things may seem, as if, Mr. Trump the trial is not to prove whether or not Mr. Trump had sexual intercourse with Mr. Armedanis. The trial is to prove, as it states, hush money trial, is to prove that Mr. Trump had prior knowledge to such payment, that he was aware, that he gave instruction to Mr. Cowens, his personal attorney, to act on his behalf. But it can easily well, Mr. Trump's attorney must present to the judge that Mr. Trump had no prior knowledge to such payment. He learned of such payment and reimbursed Mr. Cowens for such payment. He didn't told Mr. Cowens to take such initiative, but Mr. Cowens acted in a way at such point to ensure that there was no problem, that there was no one to disclose any damning information to defame, any form of information to defame his character. So we have to look at it within the confines of the law and understand that whether or not you like or hate Mr. Trump, it's not about that at this point. It is about the law, and there's reasonable doubt. Therefore, the accused must be given the benefit of the doubt. Mr. Trump's attorney should present the case that their client had no prior knowledge to such payment. Afterwards, the client learned of such payment and reimbursed Mr. Cohen's. Stormy Daniels, her job description, porn star. That's what she did. She do. That's her job description. She slept. She had sexual intercourse on camera and off camera. So it is, there should be, going forward, I believe there should be, if there's an industry, the sex industry, there should be some form of confidentiality letter. There must be some signing of some form of confidentiality letter that prevent individuals from disclosing sensitive information, private and sensitive information. You cannot be that there was a sexual encounter and for any reasons or any personal vendetta, a person can disclose a consensual sexual encounter. Mr. Trump didn't rape. Mr. Trump didn't rape Miss Stormy Daniels. He didn't rape her. He didn't drug her. So therefore, Miss Stormy Daniels wasn't raped, and she wasn't drugged and raped. So therefore, if there was no drugged, there must be some form of consent. She had some form of, she was paid for sex. She received money. So to be on the witness stand, and it just seems, in my view, it seems like she is a woman desperately in need of some cash. Because I can't understand why would a woman had sexual encounter with a man, whether it's a woman or a man, had sexual encounter and disclose such sensitive information to the public, even after being paid to keep her mouth shut. Hush money. Why disclosed after she received such money? So there are other factors. There are other factors which could very well be influenced Miss Daniels' decision to disclose the $130,000 she allegedly received for hush money, as payment for hush money, to silence her. She shouldn't she shouldn't have taken such money if at first. But nevertheless, she took it. She took it. Michael Cohen, on the other hand, now, as his personal attorney, I don't know what's wrong with him, because as a personal attorney, and he should have very well be more knowledgeable of certain things within the confines of the law. He acts like a regular civilian. He should be a more knowledgeable. He shouldn't have found himself in such a predicament that he had even have to serve prison sentence, or they have to serve jail time. All that could be avoided all that could be avoided if he was using his knowledge. If he used his knowledge, he's an attorney. Why he subject himself to such an ordeal as an attorney of law, attorney at law, former attorney at law? We have to look at it in a way in which Miss Daniels' disclosure could be motivated by other factors. There must be some other reasons. There must be other reasons why she disclosed. If it's whether she want to receive more money, she want what case Miss Daniels would have against Donald Trump? Is it that she want to say that she had sexual intercourse with him and she was paid? That's not a crime. That's not a crime. As what I said earlier, Miss Danielle wasn't drugged. She wasn't raped. And those two factors, if that was the case, I would definitely stand with her, because I don't support any form of abuse against individuals. So Miss Danielle should look in the mirror and inspect her life. Likewise, Mr. Cohen should look in the mirror and inspect his life. And Mr. Trump should also look in the mirror and inspect his life, because there's a saying, libertiness comes through carelessness. When you subject yourself to carelessness, there will be libertines. People will, meaning that, people take step at you or take step at you because you put yourself in that situation. You place yourself in certain situation and then, you subject yourself to certain abuse, harassment. Mr. Trump, attorney, should clearly state that their client had no prior knowledge to such payment. Nevertheless, their client was made aware of such payment and reimbursed Mr. Cohens. Mr. Cohens was reimbursed, and that is of utmost importance that he was reimbursed. When is it a crime for a man and a woman to have consensual sexual intercourse? When has it been a crime? And if we look at it, if such payment was made to kept her silent, and she took such money at first. She took such money. She had a choice to refuse, but she took it nevertheless. Right? She took it. And whenever you find a situation like that, when people are so desperate for money, the Bible states, that the love of money is the root of all evil. Not some evil, all. And I want to put all in quote, double quote. All evil. Let me place more emphasis. The root of all evil, the love of money. Miss Daniels clearly is a woman who love money. She could she could have refused it. She took it, see the room to receive more money, so she start disclose it, hoping that she could be paid more money to be kept quiet. So it seems like blackmail. It seems like blackmail. That's how I see it. A form of blackmail. So you took money. Why you took the money and then after you start to disclose sensitive information, there must be some motive for Miss Daniels' action. So the long and short of it, this case is a Simon Say trial. Another Simon Say trial. Waste of time. Papu TV, I'm out.